على طول.
Hello and good evening, dear viewers, and welcome to a new edition of Windows here on Nile TV International. Tonight we'll be talking about Egypt's youth. The youth that represents more than half of the society, and maybe 2/3 of society. Youth are Egypt's future. Youth are the engine for development here in Egypt, the engine for economic development, the engine for sustainable development, and really the engine for progress, the hope, Egypt's future. And we'll be talking about the state's efforts to endorse the youth, to try and give them the best education possible, the centers that try to develop the skills of youth, the many initiatives that again aim to prepare the youth for the job market in an economy that is very diversified, and to prepare the youth also to work abroad, not just here in Egypt. We'll be doing this in the company of Professor Wael Badawy. He is a member of the Research Council on Communication and Information Technology, the ASRT, and he is also a professor at the School of Artificial Intelligence, the Egyptian-Russian University. A very good evening to you, Dr. Badawy. Pleasure having you with us.
Good evening to you, and the pleasure is having me here.
Thank you, Dr. Badawy. Egypt's youth are the future, they are the hope, they are the majority of society. How do you see the state's efforts in pushing the youth forward, try to give them hope, try to give them opportunities, develop their skills, and really a belief in their importance?
I believe with the government of Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, youth is one of the top priority for this government, and we have been visualizing lots of youth summits and youth activity. There are also lots of initiatives about keeping the youth in, I can call it a refresh state with the current technology and skills. So there are lots of programs, there are lots of initiatives. I was just a speaker in one event last week for youth in media, and they had the 40 universities between state and the private universities, 27 countries, lineup of speakers to give them what is the most recent, what is the requirement in media. And this kind of summits have been repeated for different disciplines. They started with the first summit, international summit for youth in Sharm el-Sheikh about 3-4 years ago. And this is maybe more. And this cycle actually, if we say youth don't attend to learn, youth will have the awareness. So it creates the awareness, and the youth are capable of going around trying to feed their hunger for knowledge and for skills. We are also aware there are so many initiatives between different government, different ministers in the same government. So there is the Ministry of Youth, there is the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Higher Education, Ministry of Communication, Ministry of Social Affairs. All of these ministries are putting programs, and sometimes we say, okay, why the programs are overlapping? Because the target audience are quite different, and to be honest, if you repeat the material twice, you will have a better equipped and better knowledgeable youth and kids.
Right. Let's take the efforts of the Ministry of Information Technology and Communication, for instance, and this is your field. We know that your PhD is in computer engineering. That's over some 20 or plus years ago, from Louisiana, from the United States. So the IT field, and this is a very promising field. We recently saw President al-Sisi inaugurating this big data hub and computer clouding center in Ain al-Sukhna Road, for instance, and he expressed it clearly that he was encouraging the Egyptian families to push their children, their sons or daughters, into this field, this area of, you know, IT?
So we have to understand that we as human went through different civilizations. So we start with the steam engines, and we had trains. We had, later on, we have cars. At certain point, we have cars pulled by different animals, like carriages. Then we have the cars, and cars will come with engine, with diesel and different kind of fuels. The new generation, the new era, is the information technology era, which means that all of our life will be changed to have an information technology component. So keeping youth going through the standard disciplines, it will not get us anywhere, because the requirement now to practice anything, even law, you must go to the law, to a different court. You must have some IT, information technology, illiterate. You have to have this knowledge. So if you look at any discipline, information technology becomes part of it. It's not an add-on. So pushing more students and more youth to go toward information technology related jobs, it will help them survive the next era. It will not be for the standard jobs, which can be handyman. I understand.
It's a must now.
It's a must, and we saw on social media in different places, different people are trying to joke around it and make fun of it. But this is the reality. Like right now, all of us will have our cell phone. 20 years ago, who did have a cell phone?
Few people.
Very few people. And we had the car phones. We never seen people going around with cell phones. Now we don't use landline. So what happened to engineers who are managing landlines? They moved to a different career, which is managing landline between centers, not landline to a home phone. And landline are actually used right now, majority of them, along to my understanding, for internet. So the era of the internet, the era of data, the explosion of using different artificial intelligence, information technology, digitization, all of this decent acronym, into different and almost all disciplines, will create a demand in the future, because you need people to create this system, people to maintain it, people to refurbish the system even after they have been disposed. So there are a huge demand, and we start this demand right now. I was reading one statistics last week that we have around, I believe, 109,000 students in information technology AI related schools. About, I believe, 28,000 or 30,000 just joined last year, which means that in the future we prepare our students for this.
So you like the number? I mean, is it growing at the rate that you as an expert in this field and must believe in the necessity of going in that direction? Does that number satisfy you, or do you think we need to grow more exponentially into getting you know, our students in this field?
I believe we need to grow exponentially, because and based on the experience we have, I was a speaker in a conference called the Data Science Conference, which was a very elite conference, first time done in MENA area, and we had more than 1,000 youth attending this particular one day. And prior to this day, it was 2 days online, just a training. This was made in Egypt for the very first time. It was sponsored by the Information Technology and Communication Ministry and ITIDA. It was at the Egyptian University for Informatics, the one in the new capital. My talk was surrounded 5 years from now workplace demographic, and we were looking for jobs after 5 years from now. When I studied for this particular talk, I went to different job websites. I don't want to name them here, but majority of us know. I went like 3 or 4.
Okay.
And I found out that it's always on the top salary, either data engineer, which is data related, information technology, software developing, computer vision, system analyst, information technology analyst, business analyst, social media specialist. And they vary between, I don't want to make numbers, but many of them are in the 3-digit thousands. in the lowest three-digit thousand. And even if they are not more than 100,000, they are not in the 50s, they are higher. So there is a large demand around these particular titles. If we understand the new initiative for the government to bring new companies here, new investment, like different companies doing for car technology and vehicle technology and different electronic technology, all of these companies, they look for students who understand this particular technology, which is digital technology. And the government, I don't think there more can be done, like, because the government is offering different programs. They offer online platform for free. You can sign up for free and learn. There's at least 2 platforms I'm aware of from the Ministry of Information Technology and Communication, or Communication and Information Technology. There are lots of programs between 1 week to 9 months. And when you go to longer programs, like 9 months programs, they are paid tasks. So students will graduate, or students will go there for 3 months or 9 months. They will get salary. Yes, the salary is not huge, but it sustains a little bit of living. And many of these initiatives also, when you try to bring people outside Cairo or from outside, where the locations, because there are about, I believe, about 9 hotspots in Egypt. One in Asyut, one in Aswan, one in... So if they want to bring you out of town, they will sponsor lodging and facilities for you to stay, or they will provide transportation. So the government is taking lots of initiatives. However,
so you see that there are currently job opportunities for those graduates, AI graduates and IT graduates in general in Egypt, sufficient opportunities?
There are sufficient opportunities for students and the graduate and youth who do know the knowledge. Not the one who has the certificate.
Okay.
Because information technology, it's about skills.
Okay.
It's not about degrees. And the new era is about skills.
So I have the certificate. How do I work on my skills?
By joining the new initiative, different initiatives, the online platforms where you can learn the new language, the new standard. We always say one example. Around November 2022, we had the new ChatGPT have been released. And at this era, everybody look, wow, a software can reply to you in your natural language. And it works on your regular computer and your phone. It doesn't need to have a super duper big, huge platform, okay? Now, if you look at the competitor for this technology, they released at least 2 or 3 different platforms, and they remove them and they keep changing the technology, which means in less than 15 months, this technology have been evolving at least 3 times, i.e. every 5 to 6 months you have a brand new technology. If I am a programmer and I want to learn how to interface to this generative AI, which is what they call it, and if I want to produce application with generative AI, in 5 to 6 months, the API which is connecting and building my software is changing because there is new technology. This is how rapid this technology and how fast this technology is changing.
So you're telling us that anybody who embarks on this field must be ready and prepared to study for the rest of his life and to be on his or her toes all the time.
Yes. The quick answer is yes. There is a lot of learning. But also we have to understand that maybe in 5 to 10 years we will be in managerial positions. So the demand of knowing all the nitty-gritty and details of things will relax a little bit. But we as a professor in the university, we have to study because we are providing projects in the school to the students which match the most recent technology. And we do have actually students in 4th year, and they present in major conferences sponsored by major societies, their projects from their classwork, because the classwork came at the highest level, or we were lucky enough to be more advanced than the rest of other researchers in the country. So I have 5 students who are going next week to give this presentation.
Very good.
And they were scared because undergraduate to go stand with researchers and world-class researchers in an international conference is weird for them. But we were lucky, they have the passion. We said, okay, let's try this new tool. Let's do the experiment. We got decent result. myself and my helping staff, like teaching assistant, we start to craft for them the writing for the research paper, and it went to referee. After the referee, it had been accepted. So the guys were really, like, became a role model in their whole patch, and everybody came to say, can we do the same? Yes, you can do the same, but you have to study.
Who excels more at this field, boys or girls? I'm sorry for this question, but curiosity really here.
Okay, let me go away from the generation and share with you another experiment we did about 3 or 4 years ago when I first returned back, and I joined one of the leading research universities.
You returned back from Canada,
From
right?
Canada, yeah. And we had to evaluate the performance. So we found out that people coming from national certificate in the not in the math, in the science discipline, they are more disciplined and they get more better results in doing programming and logic, because one reason: these people who can draw this particular natural science projects, they take care of details. They love working on details. So
those who came from the national
the
system,
national system,
not the American diploma.
No, this is the national system. If you compare somebody from math track and science, because we have to have math track and science track.
Right.
People coming from the science track, they do much better in programming courses, because programming and developing AI, artificial intelligence, building data systems, it's more about taking care of details. So the one who will take care of details and not feeling bad, feeling pressured, will perform well. So majority of the work will be most likely people who care about details. So guess who in our classroom will care more about the details?
The workaholics.
More or less. More or less, but who in our nation will care more about details? Will care more about your tie? Will care more about how you stand and how you look, and it's basically girls.
Okay. I see.
Okay.
I see
So this is one of the observation we had.
Very interesting.
It's all about details.
Yeah, very interesting. So that's the science track. What about the math track?
The math track will do in a different segment, because these people are really like, they can develop the algorithm faster, because they can develop techniques, but they don't have much passion of writing codes. This is a personal observation, so I don't want to generalize it.
Yeah, that's understood. But generally speaking, so what are the skills required, or how do we know that this young boy or girl would be good while studying AI? I mean, is math more important? Is physics and chemistry more important?
There are different approach and different methodologies in getting education in this particular field. So there is a methodology which, like the European methodology, we will give you a little bit of everything. We don't go deep, and we are lucky enough that this knowledge you can learn them and scale on them. And there is the other methodology which we used to have in Egypt, that we have to have people equipped and prepared for doing it. If we look at information technology, AI, computer science, all of this kind of computer engineering, all of the kind of these disciplines, they need somebody who can understand logic, can have step-by-step critical thinking, some kind of skills which is people can gain. So I cannot stand and say he's a good or he will be good. Giving more attention to the lowest level of details. This is what we need people about, which basically disciplined individuals. I've been in different environments, even here in Egypt, and we interact with the American philosophy, the European philosophy, and the Egyptian different practices in teaching. And I can tell you, in all classes, 20-30% are top of the class, 20-30% are at the end of the class, and there are the ones in the middle, which is average of the class. So there is no really a special characteristics you need to have. You can learn everything, you can have the skills. However, you need to focus, you need to be disciplined, you need to repeat, have a pattern of practice, give enough care for what you learn.
All of what you're saying leads to one word, Dr. Badawy, the dedication. I mean, I feel that if you are committed, dedicated, if you have the will, if you really want it, and you have the God-given, you know, minimum IQ, then you can do it.
Yeah, you need to have the dedication, passion, and dedication will get you through. So.
All right. On this note, we'll take a short break, Dr. Badawy, dear viewers, and we'll come back and continue our discussion here on Windows. Please stay with us. Welcome back. We're still with Dr. Wael Badawy, the member of Research Council on Communication and Information Technology, ASRT, and the professor at the School of AI, the Egyptian Russian University. Dr. Badawy, COVID-19, the coronavirus pandemic has made a lot of changes to the global economy, to the way, to the jobs in the global economy, and of course Egypt being no exception. Talk to us about this, and how can we here in Egypt benefit from you know, these new opportunities?
In my understanding and what I've been experienced with you in COVID, we start with the hype, with fear, and then we start to live along with COVID. One of our survivability was to use digital media and the online conduit and stay at home, make FaceTime calls, using different platforms for teleconference. Even our education have been transformed 100% to online. I believe the lifestyle changes happen there, enforced more information technology and data management and computer-oriented usages, because nowadays we have lots of students who would prefer to have classrooms over platforms remotely. We have doctors and we have different practitioners who have been using the digital platform to deliver service. Like I remember one of the teams I was familiar with from Zagazig University, for example, they assemble a bunch of doctors and they have been transmitting data to patients, and then they give them decisions, and they tell them what kind of medication, and they provide alternative treatment approach because nobody was able to go to any clinic. So this kind of lifestyle changes have demonstrated that the new era is coming with high component of information technology. And the biggest example I always see is when you see everybody standing by ATM machines trying to put cash in or get cash out. We don't go to banks. Like I'm not sure when last time, sir, you went to a bank branch to do any any financial transaction, except for companies. Companies, maybe they still have to go for the large amount, but we as individuals, I don't believe many of us will actually go to the bank, not because they are so busy, because basically we don't see the value. Majority of us right now are paying lots of our bills online. So every time you see like an electricity bill, a phone bill, anything, even tickets for traffic violations, we paid online if we don't want to dispute. And even if you want to dispute, we can go online. So all of these kind of platforms, they basically need somebody to maintain, first to develop, second to maintain, then to update, then to secure, because there are lots of attacks could happen, like cyber security, like attack and blocking the servers, taking information from here and there. So if you look at these 4 or 5 different jobs as a standard viewer, you realize that there is a high...
Speaking of cyber security, and I'm going to play the devil's advocate here, aren't there any fears that the whole field of IT in general and AI would receive a terrible blow if some security breach happens, worldwide security breach one day happens, major banks in the US, something in Europe, something in developing countries. If the security of people's privacy and personal money is at risk, and if this occurs regularly, doesn't this threaten the whole field?
The immediate answer is yes, and the correct answer is no. Because yes, if you have all your information online, you have threat. And the threat is somebody coming through an abandoned entry point, like we call them port, because you have your jack in the end of your back of your computer. It connects through different port, like different doors. So if you have an abandoned door, you did not close it, you may have an email coming to you with a bad link, so you click on it, and this link will download a virus or an attack or whatever. And so the answer is yes, you are always under this threat. The correct answer is no, because people who are using these technologies now, they have awareness. So we have awareness not to open any email, not to click on any links. We have lots of friends, for example, their Facebook, Instagram, and social media platforms have been attacked and taken by others, and there are ways to recover it. So yes, you are vulnerable. However, there are lots of attempts. There are lots of.
I really like this scientific answer, but let me try to rephrase this question. By logic, if we say that progress and development in this field has no limits, and sky is the limit, and the programmers still have a lot to discover, and so on, I'll call this the attack, the defense, the defense. And we can put systems to defend and to make security 100% and so on. The pirates, on the other hand, those who want to hack and stuff, are also developing their skills. Yeah. And they also believe that sky is the limit in the evil way. So the question here is, who can develop themselves better? Those who defend, those who are in the proper and legal channels, or those who want just to hide, to hack and to steal, and because they too can have a lot of tools and unlimited tools to break into the programmed material.
The upper hand will be always to the guys who are defending.
Why?
Because before they release any product, sometimes they make hackathon for hacking it. It's hackathon for cracking it. So when you buy a new phone, a brand new phone just released, don't feel bad when you update like 3, 4, 5 times in the first week the platform, because there are actually competition have been made. That's if you have this system, how you can get in, how you can build intruders. So the one who generates the technology, the one who is more interested in getting where are the holes, where are the gaps. But also for the benefit of the viewers, we have to understand that we have two different systems. We have system like what we have seen here in the new capital. There are systems who can run the irrigation, the security, the control, the HVAC, and all these kind of different tools. There is a security bubble that this system is isolated from the internet. And there is the standard internet system which you have. And then there are special internet. I don't want to get into the dark web because this is a different ball game, and I'm not equipped to talk about it as this show. But there are special internet. So there is a medical record internet. It's internet only for people who are in hospitals who can manage medical records. There is also internet for defense. So there are different layers of internet, not for all the public. So when it talks to the public that you have an internet here, this is the internet you use every day to search on it, use social media, what have you. But there are always network which is nobody knows about it. One of these networks actually exists in your car. So the brand new cars with the computer engine in the middle controlling everything, there is every single sensor there is basically small internet inside the car. And the car does not always have to connect to a master server outside because it don't need to. So there are systems in place in different factories, in different locations, which basically a complete network is like an internet, but it does not be connecting to outside. So no matter how
the defense will always have what we call the defense will always have the upper hand.
Will always have
the legal channels or the programmers or
and I want to talk about the hacker.
But the hackers will always have a chance.
And I want to talk about the hacker because the hackers are not always the bad guys. Like I remember when we start in early 90s in the school.
Can I just stop you here, please? Because I just want to make an assumption, and I hope that this is that it has scientific reference or background. So, from what you said, which seems very logical to me at least, the best hacker is the developer himself or herself. that would be the best, the absolute best hacker. So if those guys who were supposedly in the defense go out on the attack and take the evil way, then everything is in danger. Not everything, but I mean, something is in danger.
Yes, if you switch hats,
Yeah.
or you flip interests,
Yeah.
yes, you are insider. You
Oh,
can.
oh.
And that's why there are laws and regulations. But I want to talk about the hackers themselves. The hackers are not always the bad guys. Like when I used to be in the school,
It sounds
30
strange.
years,
Yeah.
no,
yeah.
30 years ago, we were actually feeling so proud, so bright that we are understanding what's Juji virus, and we look at the virus right up, and this is the virus used to be on floppy disks in my time, 30 some years ago. So we sometimes have curiosity, and people who are in this field at a very high standard of details of programming, they always feel the pride of doing things. So the hackers,
Naturally, yeah.
the hackers usually are not the bad guys. There exist bad guys. There exist some communities. There are countries who don't like you. There are countries who like to take all of your medical record and down your systems, down your electricity. There are so many bad intent. But what I want to say also is there are people who are actually trying to break through. And there is actually a degree in Egypt called ethical hacking, which means you hack with ethics.
Very interesting.
And the reason for these degrees and these studies is about to try to find holes and gaps that the developed have been overlooked, so they can build a better secure system.
Very interesting. Finally, Dr. Badawy, let's end like we started. I want to ask you about the future of the prospects, the chances for Egypt's youth in this very important field, the IT field. How do you like progress so far, and how do you see the near and mid-term futures?
Egypt, as I said, Egypt has the leadership. Egypt, one of the top countries in Africa, and we are the gate of Africa. With having these different programs and having our youth building new companies, and because it's easy to build a small startup company right now in information technology. So we are going on the steps, and there are lots of new initiatives. One of them is to renew the Council of Artificial Intelligence to build another 3 years of prosperity and getting more resources to develop human being, to develop sustainable development. There are 6 initiatives for the new council. With the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology having all of these new initiatives, with the new data center have been like the new data center is a government data center, but it have been well positioned to deliver the message out. You know, here is the new Egypt. Here is, we call it the electronic brain of Egypt now. So having these initiatives shall keep our students in a better position, because we also created the awareness outside. So all countries who are now knew that Egypt have this new data center, they learn now about Egypt in the digital era. So this is a free publicity, free marketing for our graduate, our youth to go into this particular field. And as I said, like we have the leadership in, if you look at the Arab countries, we are maybe number 3 or 4 as well. We have good relation with the countries who are a little bit ahead of us. But we are in a good position, and we just basically need the time to evolve to a better civilization.
Very good to hear. On that note, dear viewers, on behalf of you, we thank very much our distinguished guest here with us in the studio, Professor Dr. Wael Badawy, member of the Research Council on Communication and Information Technology, ASRT, and the professor at the School of AI, the Egyptian Russian University. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you, dear viewers, for watching us. This is Mohammed Abdelrahim, and this is good.